Japna.
I know it's already been like the 2 seasons are already out and people are waiting for the third season, but did you expect Ashram to get the kind of response it has received over the years? Did you initially expect it?
I would say no. I mean, I definitely. I thought that the story was good and it had the potential to work, and I was fortunate to have a bunch of actors who gelled well to kind of tell this story. This was like the beginning, but that it will be kind of liked, that it will be seen, that it will be appreciated so much, and people will connect with it at this level was, I didn't expect that. But once it started growing, I could see why it was happening. I could see, the connection which people made with this sort of thing, because we as people like India, we are deeply religious, we are deeply spiritual, we are rooted into this. We are so well connected that these aberrations of these fake gurus, that immediately tells a story which people have seen. This is already there in the public domain, and they understand the whole disruptions which have continued to happen. And eventually it's the story which wins. So I think the story worked. Yeah.
Coming to you, Bobby. So earlier, you've always enjoyed a massive fan following, but now your fans and so many millions of others watch you on OTT. So tell us something about the transition from the big screen to the digital world. You have in less than 2 years become, one of the most iconic villains out there on the OTT platform. So how does it feel? How does it feel to receive such a thunderous welcome?
I think I'm grateful to God. I worked really hard. I worked so hard that I think I'm more focused in my life now. I'm more dedicated to my profession. Something which I only realized after I had failures. And I think things just keep falling in place for you. You work hard. People say, "Kami milta, kami milta." Till you don't work hard, there's always an opportunity coming your way. And for me, Aashram came knocking on my door, and I was ready to take it on. And I think it is the most amazing thing. I mean, nothing is planned. For me, it was all about just trying to do the best I can as an actor.
Were you?
I think he always had it in him. I don't know how people didn't recognize, the others. And in our industry, one kind of personality, character, attitude becomes popular with somebody, and everybody will come and start loading on the same bandwagon. And that's the whole problem. You don't use the other aspect of acting. So his capability as an actor to play a different kind of character, that opportunity he's got, and he immediately blossomed. He came good as an actor. He came good with it, and he became so convincing. And I always had faith in him. I didn't get the opportunity to work with him earlier, but I always had the faith in him that once kind of a character where he has some layers to kind of live, he will work very well, and he's done it. It's not,
Yes.
to tell you very honestly, he's not a method actor. He is not kind of who is going about everything. He prepares, for months he will go through his lines, he will keep talking to me, etc., etc. He comes on the set, he has got the maximum number of lines, and he is the best prepared actor who is there on the set. It's a delight to work with him.
I mean, for Prakash Ji, it was his first OTT outing as well. And for him, he never thought he was shooting a web series for an OTT platform. He was making a movie of such a large scale, and if you see, everybody's seen Aashram, and Aashram is huge scale. It's like a one of those big
magnum opus
kind of a film, which has been broken into episodes and so I think OTT platform has given the the liberty, not the liberty, the
Opportunity.
opportunity for creative people to able to say the storytelling in a more open way, because they can express every character's characterization and subplots and things like that more nicely. Otherwise you get restricted when you make a movie, and sometimes stories don't work out the right way because you cannot go into that side of the story. But here, as a web series,
You get
you
creative
can creative freedom, and you can do so much with it. So I think it's the best thing happened to all of us. It's a great thing for a lot of actors. All the actors I worked with in the show, thanks to OTT platform, you're coming across such great
so
actors who are so good at what they do, but they were never noticed because
they didn't get the opportunity.
to be on cinemas, in movies. So I think it's the best thing that's happened to our industry. Technicians, now you want to find dates for anybody, किसी की date नहीं मिलती.
नहीं मिलती है.
सारे department वाले busy हैं.
And that's thanks to OTT, you would say.
I think it's
Yeah,
thanks to
I think
OTT,
it's, yeah.
but cinema has its own magic.
True.
I mean, I would never take that away. I mean, as an actor, as a director, I'm sure we would love to do something always on cinema, because that has a different magic altogether. And that's how we all began our careers. I mean, Prakash Ji struggled all his way and then wanted to be a director. My father, he struggled and wanted to be an actor. So there's something else about cinema.
Cinema is something else.
Short story. So while there are fans who wait with bated breath to find out what's going to happen in the next season, there are also a section of people who feel that the show is very problematic. So what do you have to say about that? How do you take this sort of criticism?
Each one to oneself. Critic, good. I mean, so there should be criticism. We live in an independent country. We have freedom of speech, voice, thoughts, everything. And I think, for everyone to be in line with what you think is also not correct. There has to be opposition. There has to be, a different view. But, as far as negativity is concerned, for every negative view, there is always, a bunch of thousands of people who think positively.
True.
So, you should tell the story, the way you believe in it, the way you think is right, and keeping the responsibility intact, and tell a good story. And of course, when you touch stories about social issues or politics or anything, people don't realize that it's in every field, whether it is politics, whether it is business, whether it is education, whether it is any other aspect of life, or practicing religion. There are always fake people, fake politicians, fake business people, fake scientists, fake whatever doctors, and there are fake babas.
True.
So it's just as simple as that.
I mean, I just believe that nobody can like the same thing.
True.
See,
Like
remember
success.
one thing. There was a very beautiful saying about dharma in India. It is not people who protect dharma. It is dharma which protects people. Remember that.
Yes.
आदमी धर्म को नहीं बचा सकता,
धर्म ही आदमी को.
धर्म आदमी को बचाता है. तो जो लोग धर्म को बचाने निकलते हैं वो गलत फहमी में है.
Beautiful indeed.
Yes. This is what our Shashwat Prakriti says. धर्म क्या है? जो सच है वो धर्म है. और कोई चीज अगर सच नहीं है तो वो धर्म हो ही नहीं सकती. तो हम झूठ अगर बता रहे हैं तो धर्म हो ही नहीं सकता. धर्म से कोई लेना देना नहीं उसका. तो जो उस झूठ के रास्ते पे निकल गए हैं उनकी सोच वैसी होगी, बट सच के रास्ते पे लाखों लोग चलते हैं, पूरा समाज चलता है. तो हमें धर्म की चिंता नहीं करनी है, धर्म हमारी चिंता करता है.
Speaking of your character, Nirala Baba, it's a very difficult character to portray. So, how do you sort of switch on and off from the character?
Why switch it on and off?
No, as an actor, like what is it like to get in the zone and then to come out and be like, okay, now I'm Bobby?
We programmed the dress, the costume that he was wearing. We had to I had 5 computer programmers sitting, and we programmed it. We sang, we every button, everything that was stitched on that, it was well programmed. At the moment he used to wear that,
Switches on.
he used to get in there. So every time, he had to eat his food, he had to take the dress off to eat his food. So that is how it was, Otherwise, he's such a gentleman, such a nice fellow, or whatever it is. It's only when for acting, I had to give him that choga.
No, I mean, the thing is, see, I've been in this industry since years.
Yeah.
And I know when you play a character, it's not you. So you can't go on living it after you switch the camera off, because it's cut gaya abhi. Lekin yes, definitely I was playing a very, very different and a very evil character. So somewhere when I honestly tell you, in the beginning, when I used to read my lines, or when I used to be in front of the camera and finish the shot, it used to get to me. It did get to me. Because as a person, I'm not this person.
Yeah.
But you're trying to portray it. So sometimes when I used to do my performance, I used to feel, my God, I was so evil while I was doing it, But then at the same time, you feel, okay, you did it right, but you're not even sure. But then in the end of the day, when you finish shooting, you sitting with those same actors who you have been wrong to while doing the scene, and we sit, we laugh, we joke, and we discuss next day's shooting, and everything becomes normal, It's like that. So it's not, a lot of people talk about how do you cut away from all that, but I never found it so difficult. Because
It becomes kind of like, there is a scene where he is kind of like, making out with somebody, and in between the shots, such a thing, chai piyenge? So, it's just like, it just happens, you don't get into kind of, these people are not method actors ki matlab wo jaake ek shot khatam hua kone mein baith gaye apna wait kar rahe no. I don't know. They don't. It's a process.
Yeah, it's a
so
process,
simple.
yeah.
All he has got is love. People have appreciated his
Yeah,
work.
I'm
It's
telling you,
good acting. Yeah.
people who saw this and called my family or my members of the family, they said, we saw your son's Aashram and इतना negative character
With the
किया,
moment they
लेकिन इतना positive हमें इतना प्यारा लगा हमें तो imagine प्यारा लगा
trailer आया तो धर्मजी not well, still he calls me up and says, what a fantastic, Bobby ने बड़ा अच्छा काम किया, सबने अच्छा काम किया, तूने बनाया ऐसा. They won't say that, na? It's just an acting, yaar. He's played a character, he's played the character so convincingly that people get affected by it. That's what is the whole idea.
We hope he's doing okay now.
Yeah, he's getting
Yeah.
better. He's getting better. But he was very excited when he saw the promo. He says, I said, बहुत अच्छा लगा ये डायरेक्टर ने मतलब बहुत अच्छा कमाल का डायरेक्टर है ये. मैं बोला बात करोगे आप? हाँ लगा फोन लगा. And he wasn't completely
So
well, but he
sweet,
still spoke to him on the phone.
That's very sweet.
Yes.
Yep.
On a different tangent, speaking of what happened last year, it must have been a harrowing experience to have groups chase down the crew members and the violence that happened on sets. So did it affect the team's morale in a way while shooting, because this was happening? This happened during the shoot of the
For
third season,
for
right?
73 minutes.
Yes.
For 73 minutes, because in the second hour we were shooting back on the set.
Yeah, we shot till the whole day after that.
Same, it's just for a few one or 2 hours that they were there, and then we were back to shooting.
And it in no way affected the creative decisions.
Now we completed our schedule that day. Whatever was scheduled, we
Yeah, we
completed.
finished it.
We finished.
Speaking of the same, with the new season on its way, are you braced for fresh drama? Are you expecting backlash?
I mean,
Backlash?
we never think about. I honestly have, as an actor, performed. I just want people to love
Love
my work.
what you do.
I'm scared about the backlash I'll get as a performer. Nothing else matters to me. And I think we are honest filmmakers. We are very responsible filmmakers and actors who do work which is going to give the audiences a message and explain to them what is around them in this world they live in. It is not about defaming anyone. It's about
True,
Hey,
let's also-
for every, as I said, for every negatively thinking person who would like to say something which he didn't like or perception is there are thousands who have positive views. Thousands. 160 crores of people, which is more than the population of this country, have viewed the first 2 seasons. 1.6 billion plus. 155 million active users.
So that's the aspect the team likes to focus
So
on.
you can just think, it's not that we have done that. We are happy that it has kind of like, reached so many people. We are happy that MX has been able to spread that, and our story has been liked, and then there will be something. As I said, I don't expect, I hope doesn't happen, but the moment you take a subject or an issue which has got,
Nothing to do with.
something to do with society, religion, politics, etc., there will be people who will have that voice, and there will be kind of like, interested groups opposing that. Fine. Every time, even you tell a story to a child, if the story is valid, if the story can attract or keep his mind engaged, he will listen to you, otherwise he will go.
True.
Simple.
And I think movies don't have a language as such. It's a story that speaks to you.
So-
and if you make a good story, it doesn't matter what language it is,
Right.
you're going to enjoy it. I've been
And
watching
this is-
different language movies since
What do
I
you,
was a kid.
do you mean to tell me that, अच्छा है वो अनुभव सिन्हा की फिल्म में है ना, अच्छा वो आंध्र प्रदेश तो तमिलनाडु के नॉर्थ में है ना, तो मतलब तमिलनाडु साउथ हो गया उसके लिए। हाँ? क्या है नॉर्थ साउथ का लगा रखा? अरे स्टोरी है यार, कहीं की भी स्टोरी हो। अरे क्या कहते हैं वो ईरान की स्टोरी अच्छी लगती है, वो भी लोग पसंद से देखते हैं। फ्रांस की स्टोरी लगती है, वो भी देखते हैं। चाइना की स्टोरी लगती है अच्छी, वो भी देखते हैं। अच्छा, तो विल यू से कि हिंदी फिल्में नहीं चल रही हैं, वो कोरियन फिल्में चल रही हैं? कमाल है यार।